This year is almost done. It just seems that Intact America's motivation is making money versus actually decreasing circumcision, because when it comes to doing something that might decrease the rate of circumcision, they don't back it with money in any kind of meaningful or serious way. When it comes to making money, they fund it heavily. And I believe that this has led to a pretty disappointing 2025 for Intact America. If you don't believe me, let's go through the things that Intact America does that's free or pretty cheap for the year. So Intact America, they do blogs. I went through the entire year. I even went a little further than this year to give them a whole 12 months. And there's nothing really big that stands out in their blogs. I mean, it's pretty free to go ahead and make blogs too, right? You just go ahead and you say how you feel or what you've noticed. So I don't really think that moves the needle, especially when you kind of keep them on your website. And then Intact America, they post videos on social, but as you notice, they don't go super far, especially not on YouTube. They're peaking at maybe 800 views. This was definitely an outlier, but most of them get about 400 or less views. So yes, they do make videos, but they don't really go that far. Like, they're not promoting them. They're not trying to advertise them to make them go out to the public. So it's really not effective activism if not a lot of people get it, all right? If not a lot of people see it. Now, if we go through all of the Intact America's initiatives, like for instance, Skin in the Game, this is compelling storytelling campaign where they get volunteers to go ahead and share their personal experiences. Okay, cool. But again, they're not spending the money to get this promoted and getting other people to help them spread this so this can go into the hands of the people on the fence to raise awareness. Now, voices, this again is just like Skin in the Game. It's relatively cheap to do. This is just sharing your experience, your story, shared with the public that will, quote unquote, help America reach a tipping point, just like Skin in the Game, right? Pretty cheap to free to do, right? They rely on volunteers for this, and like, they aren't running ads again to promote any of this. Also, another free thing that Intact America pushed super hard was the End NICU Circumcisions Now. This seems like it's going to be effective and rally people up to make this big push to end NICU circumcisions now. Well, guess what? The whole fight for Baby Cool, this was free. This might have caused the hospitals to shake a little bit, might have had them change their ways of Intact America. They put some bite behind their words and be like, hey, we're going to sue you, etc., etc. But they didn't do that. They just went ahead and made a petition that anyone could do. And they went and passed this on to everybody. And I remembered people coming to me being like, oh, Potts, you have to go and sign this petition. You have to sign this petition. This had no real effect except for Intact America getting your email. Now, this is what, according to my research right here, AI says, yes, the petitioner, the person that starts the petition, receives your email address when you sign a petition on change.org. And again, from a person who works from change.org, this was 4 years ago, but it says, if you sign a petition, your IP address will never be exposed to anyone. Your email address will not be exposed publicly, but in some cases can be made available to the starter of the petition. If, for instance, they want to print out the list of signatures on paper and deliver the petition to a decision maker. So congratulations, you guys all just handed over Intact America your email. So now they can go ahead and probably send you updates on their newsletters and be like, hey, donate to us, because they definitely ask you guys quite a bit to donate to them. And once again, guys, this is a free thing that seemed to be, oh yeah, we're trying to fight for Baby Cool and this is innocent. Well, honestly, Intact America just kind of held Baby Cool as a emotional hostage. And unfortunately, a lot of you guys probably signed this petition. And let me know if they're emailing you now that you signed this petition. I'm very curious. Let's talk about things that Intact America have seemed to scrap for this year. So they haven't done any surveys this year. So if you go ahead and check their surveys, you're not going to find any for 2025. Now, their Pride, they haven't done any Pride parades. Not that I can find. If you go to events and you go to list for 2025, you're not going to see anything. I checked. There's nothing. here. You can go monthly. You can go scroll all through this. No updates on their website of any kind of events that they were doing. So I don't know if they just decided to not update their website, but for a company that's, has made potentially millions of dollars this year, that's kind of sloppy work in my opinion. But there seems to be no pride parades or any kind of conferences. They talk about conferences right here. So they haven't done it that year either. So they seem to pretty much scrap these three things. I don't know if it just wasn't making them money or what, but most likely it was because it was costing them more money than they were making, because surveys, they don't make you any money. Pride, I mean, I'm sure that they do go ahead and ask for donations there, but it's probably more expensive than what it's worth. And conferences, yeah, it does make money because they do charge money for it. However, they did do the Skin in the Game Awards, and I will get to that in a second. Okay, so let's talk about what Intact America seems to be putting serious money behind. So paying management right here. This is 2022. This is from their IRS forms. You can go ahead and check their management. It costs about $400,000 a year for Intact America to go ahead and pay for management. I already covered this in a video prior, so I'm not going to go ahead and cover it in this video too much. That seems to be a major part of Intact America that they're putting serious money behind. Like, it really is a lot of money. And so to my knowledge, that money is going to people who work with Intact America. And this is one of the biggest parts of their budget. Now, another thing that they are putting lots of money behind is the donoharm.report. I made a video about this. It's beneficial for George Jane's other nonprofit, the Hudson Center. I explained that in this video above me, so I'm not going to go ahead and explain that here. Now, Skin in the Game Award was a huge fundraiser. So even Gowdaff, they went ahead and they were boasting about this, but it says, with Gowdaff's help, Intact America raised nearly $150,000 from this event for its education and advocacy programs to stop the harm of circumcision. So again, Intact America made $150,000, and they were putting a lot of money behind this. They had Alan Cumming come through. They went and rented out a building of some sort in New York, and it was a really big event. And I can't even imagine how much they actually spent on this event. I have no idea. Now, going back to their list of initiatives, you have the therapy program, which does seem nice, like, oh, they're doing therapy. But however, it says, we are offering free virtual monthly group sessions to Intact America insiders, subscribed monthly donors. So they're using therapy programs as like a carrot to entice people to go and become monthly donors. So imagine if Intact America cared enough to give out free therapy to circumcised men who need it. But no, if you don't pay them, you don't get therapy. Again, Foreskin Day. So this does cost money for them. They do hire a host, and it does cost money, and it seems charitable. But in reality, it's really just an advertisement. It really is only for intactivists and other sympathetic people of the cause. Foreskin Day doesn't prevent circumcisions. Can we all agree on that? Intact America's Foreskin Day is more or less Intact America Day. Like, let's just look at facts here. They advertise themselves constantly during the Foreskin Day video, and it actually got real excessive. So this is them advertising themselves here, and also here, 5 minutes later. Here, 13 minutes later. Also, from 27 minutes and 17 seconds all the way to the end of this video, Intact America talks about themselves. That's over 20% of the time Intact America was talking about themselves in something that was supposed to be Foreskin Day and not Intact America Day. So that's a whole lot of advertising, and I wonder why they did that. Let me know down in the comments why you think so. And also, the most funny, sad comment in Foreskin Day 2025 was this right here.
Just as important in celebrating the foreskin, Foreskin Day honors each of you for spreading the word about foreskin and about Intact America's work.
Yes, guys. So, Foreskin Day is about spreading the Intact America's work. Obviously, that is the purpose of the Foreskin Day, is spreading Intact America's work. Now, I know she talked about, oh, celebrating those who spread the word about foreskin, right? But if Foreskin Day was about celebrating those who spread the word about foreskin, why did Intact America go out of their way to censor the Bloodstained Men? Look at it. They censored Bloodstained Men right back here. That's censored. Again, they censored Bloodstained Men right here. Again, with David Wilson, they moved his hair in front of the bloodstainedmen.com so you couldn't see it. And also, look at this. Bloodstained Men back here got blocked by his body, and his hair is blocking Bloodstained Men. They purposely picked shots to go ahead and block out the Bloodstained Men. And again, if you go ahead and look at this, you can read everything on these signs perfectly except for bloodstainedmen.com, because they went through and they censored all of it. But I thought this was supposed to be celebrating those that defend children, though, right? You know what I find incredibly infuriating about this is that this is extremely, extremely sleazy, because Intact America, they censored the Bloodstained Men, and they took their content and essentially removed the watermark from all of their signs and video editing. Meanwhile, if you look at the corner of their Foreskin Day 2025, I'll move me so you can see it, they watermarked themselves the entire time. Look at this, Intact America on the corner. Like, you can't get away from it. It's always there, constantly. So they ironically removed the watermark from Bloodstained Men, and they are supposedly interested in fighting copyright issues on their own videos. But when Bloodstained Men, when they do it, oh, they'll just censor that out so people don't know there was the Bloodstained Men that was doing the most in Genital Integrity Awareness Week, and that those signs belong to the Bloodstained Men. And also, speaking of that, Intact America was the only group mentioned who was at Genital Integrity Awareness Week. So why didn't they mention other intactivist organizations that are doing great work for saving babies, or at least arguably better work than Intact America? Why did they not go ahead and mention any other intactivist group? Oh, you know, that's right, because you gotta pay. You gotta pay Intact America if you want them to mention you, and you gotta pay them thousands of dollars. Just like if you go to Gaudaf's newsletter and you decide to go ahead and read it, it says Gaudaf has agreed to co-sponsor the event at the $5,000 Visionary Voice level by purchasing a limited number of tickets for our supporters. It says this exclusive ticket opportunity is available for the first 6 supporters who pledge a minimum donation of $500 to Gaudaf. And it says, your donation not only offsets our cost of sponsorship, but entitles us to a quarter-page ad in the event newsletter, recognition at the award ceremony, and logo placement on the event signage, all which help to increase Gaudaf's visibility. So Gaudaf spent $5,000 to essentially use Intact America to advertise for themselves. Think about that, because the whole, oh, hey, please purchase some of our tickets for $500, that just helps offset the $5,000 that Gaudaf gave to Intact America so they could go ahead and advertise themselves. So getting mentioned on Intact America isn't about how effective you are as an activist group or that they stand behind your mission. It's the money that you pay them. That is how you get mentioned by Intact America. Also, with Foreskin Day, this allows them to go ahead and push their merchandise. Because if you go here, this was March 20th, when Foreskin Day was up and coming, that says you can go ahead and click this link for some fun ideas. You click that link, you end up with this site here, and look at this, show off your love of foreskin with merchandise. So you go ahead and click order now. You see all these t-shirts that you can go ahead and buy. Now, what's really crazy about this is that Intact America has 2 merchandise shops. So they're really pushing the merchandise, which is kind of, you know, for profit like. And speaking of merchandise, the book sales, Intact America is spending copious amounts of money and time on traveling, going to hotels, going to book clubs and bookstores, etc. to sell books. I have no idea how much money they are making selling books, but the 2 books cost about $45 altogether. This one's $23, this one's $22, so $45 altogether. And also, the average profit margin for authors, I looked this up, is about 40 to 60%. And I'm guessing that Intact America is actually getting a higher profit margin. And here's why. Their books being about $22 to $23 per book, that is not cheap. The average cost of a paperback books, it says right here on eBooks Writing Experts, it says the typical book cost for softcover books typically falls anywhere between $10 and $20. Mass market paperbacks, often found in airport bookstores or stores, can be much less expensive, at times costing just $5 to $10. And you also have the ability to make ebooks. So if Intact America wanted to do ebooks, they are the most affordable choice, costing about $1 for special deals or as high as $15. And if you go to self-published books right here, it says books published by free writers frequently fall on the lower end of the pricing scale. Now, Marilyn Milos and Georgianne Chapin, they're not authors, like they're not professional authors, and numerous self-published ebooks are priced somewhere in the range of $1 to $5. However, softcover renditions can go from $10 to $20. Now, Intact America selling their books for $22 to $23 per book, that's not cheap. Now, you could argue, oh, well, they're in New York, so the cost of living is more expensive. And then my question is, why is Intact America headquartered in New York then? But either way, they could have made these books cheaper and more accessible. They could have given these books to libraries so people could read this for free, or made them ebooks. But however, this isn't about making information about circumcision known to the public. It's more about making money than it is trying to spread awareness. Because once again, they have two other cheaper options to go ahead and spread this news if they really wanted to go ahead and do this. And also, it must be really nice for them to be able to travel all over the United States to go and push books for 3-4 hours at a book fair and then enjoy the new things and sites for the rest of the time. But either way, once again, the books make Intact America money, which is why they put so much money behind these books and they keep pushing people to go ahead and buy them. I mean, you can even go to their Facebook, and the first thing you see is available now, The Penis Business and Please Don't Cut the Baby. Now, the next thing that Intact America, and probably the largest percentage of their money goes to, disclaimer, and this is the year 2022. This is from their IRS form. Their largest percent of their money goes to investment income. The current year of 2022, remember that, right here above my head, $89,000. That is insanity, guys. That is how much money Intact America is getting from investing. Like, that's a lot of money. And I've been doing stocks a long time, and they've made more money than I have this year. And this year, stocks have just been going up. And this is just what Intact America is reporting on capital gains. And this isn't counting unrealized gains either. And I'm just curious what they're investing in. And honestly, they're doing better than most day traders and stock people, honestly. Like, look, this is the average stock trader salary is $62,000 a year. Intact America is doing better than them. Even if you go to the Master of Finance and you read this right here, salary.com pegs the lower 10% of stock trader salaries at $43,000 per year. Those in the middle 50% earn slightly higher salary at $58,000 per year. And the highest earners nationwide take home $67,000 per year. Intact America is making more on their investments than professional stock people. That is crazy. So they're doing really good with their investment income. Granted, I don't know if they're doing high yield savings. I don't know if they're doing CDs, stocks, but what the heck? Like, how did Intact America make so much money that they're making more from their investment income than professional traders? Please, somebody explain that to me. Like, they get more money from their investment income than Bloodstained Men pulls in some years. Like, please, somebody make that make sense to me. I don't know. Meanwhile, who knows what the circumcision rate is even doing, and is Intact America even helping lower the circumcision rate? But this is like the largest portion of their money is sitting in investments, making $89,000 at this point. So that is, I mean, I'm speculating a little bit, but I think it's safe to say that. Anyways, guys, I covered Intact America to the point of nauseum on this channel. I made a video last week called How POTS Plans to Reach Hundreds of Millions of People, and the thumbnail is The Future of POTS. and it's much more effective and cheaper than what Intact America is doing. I think once you actually look through their entire 2025 year, you will see, obviously, Intact America is backing things that will make them money, and whenever it comes to actually doing something that might prevent circumcision, they are not investing in it because it doesn't make them money, even though it may drop the circumcision rates. Also, I do not have all the answers, and I'm not going to pretend like I do have all the answers, especially when it comes to an organization like Intact America. So I might be wrong on some of the things that I have said. So if I am wrong, please correct me, and let's have this conversation down in the comments. And I do appreciate it when you guys do leave a comment. But tell me, what do you think Intact America's primary motive is? Is it saving babies or making money? Please definitely let me know, and go and give me some evidence if you can in the comments if you think I'm wrong. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.
Prevail over the system. We rise through precision.